I was in one of my classes and one of my students asked me this question: how fast I could read a book? And honestly, I did not have any answer. I had never tried measuring the pace of my reading, and this made me think. And I decided to give it a try. Challenge accepted. I always get this question when I speak about the importance of reading a book. How to start reading a book? It's an entirely different thing to start reading a book, and it is whole new different thing to finish a book. You need motivation to get started, and you can find motivation everywhere. However, you need something else for continuing and finishing the book. You need consistency. And the truth is, you need to create consistency yourself. My reading journey was not a planned one. I rather stumbled upon reading. I was a student and we were reported to take turns and read books, and others were supposed to take notes. And being a very typical student, I never felt it very interesting until those questions popped out of nowhere, and those questions got me. That inspired me terribly to read that book, and that book led me to the another book, and the other to other hundreds of books that I have read. So here is the answer to your question. In order to start reading, you need to select a book that interests you and possibly that will grab your heart. And my personal recommendation is personal development and business books. Why? Because these books will help you take action and level up your life. Now back to my adventure. I was on to something crazy. I decided to test my reading pace. So I selected a Sunday for my challenge. Big day. Great things happen on Sundays. Movies, pani puri, trekkings, life happens on Sunday. I did all my work that I normally do on Sunday on the previous day, and I kept that day for reading alone. Well, and of course, eating and sleeping. How many hours did I take to finish the book? I know you are curious. You need to wait for this. You will find out soon. I woke up around 5 am and I did all my morning ablutions, and I was ready by 5:30. I started reading. I was nervous. I was doubtful. Will I be able to finish this book? Will I be able to finish this in one day? However, I decided to give it a try. I shut all my gadgets, my computer, my cell phones, and of course my door. Time 5:30 am. I started off with my first chapter, and the book Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. I was pumped up, I was excited, of course I was fearful. Big step. Will I do it? Total of 6 chapters and 24 hours. And I had to find time for sleeping and eating. As soon as I started off with my reading, it got momentum. I was into it quicker than I thought. Surprisingly, my gadgets didn't disturb me. Not a bit. Obviously, they were asleep for a day. And I highly recommend that you guys turn off your gadgets notification at least to have a productive work. Into the book for an hour, 1 chapter down. Took some water and a short break. And I took some more water breaks, and before I knew, I was down with all 6 chapters. Seriously, all 162 pages were down. Oh boy, the excitement. I was on the wing of fulfillment. The moment was indescribable. I know this question is coming up again. How many hours did you take it to finish the book? Less than 24 hours. To be exact, just more than 13 hours to finish a book that has 162 pages from cover to cover. This amazing book taught me a lot of stuff that include habit, momentum, association, etc. And I have learned some other lessons too from this experience. This book is written on the premise that even if you take a smallest of the actions consistently, those smallest actions will snowball and give you a massive result in the long run. I learned a lot of life lessons from this experience, which I love to share with you guys. The most important lesson being, you can finish any task quicker than you think if you give it less time. The task keep expanding as you give it more time. You can clean your room in 30 minutes or 3 hours, depending on how much time you give. The second lesson, if you're courageous enough to remove distractions from your work environment, you can have a massive productivity. Ask my friends what my ringtone is. None of them would know, because none of them have heard my ringtone. I keep my mobile phone on silent 24/7. That includes weekends as well. I also learned a lot of things about focus on that day. These days people complain about the lack of focus. What I would suggest is to remove all the distractions which we are surrounded with these days, and you will be amazed to find out how much focus you have given with, how much you have improved in the matter of focus. When you do this days in and days out, you can find out that you create a more focused routine. More about routine right here. Finally, the question of the day. How fast can you read the book? Grab your most interesting book and tell me rest of the things in the comments. In life, you will never know how things turn out in your favor unless you try out. Do some crazy step that will help you to level up, so that people will call you crazy before they call you successful. Start doing crazy stuff by smashing that crazy button below and be part of my relentless army. I also like the fact that you comment really well for the video and in real life.